Focus na. Good day everyone, I'm Rasmus Cristanco and I'm here to discuss the study of Bonetti et al. Entitled Magma Residence Time, Concentrate and Eruptive Style of the November Ash Laden Activity during the 2021 Tajigute eruption in La Palma, Spain. And now for the introduction, we know that La Palma is one of the most historically active islands among the Canary Islands, and the Combre Vella Ridge has fed the eruption in the 1585, 1646, 1677 up to 1678, the 1712, the 1949, and the 1971. And the Tayugate eruption in the Combre Vella Ridge has begun on September 19, 2021 after the intense seismic unrest, geochemical anomalies, and deformation that started in the 2017. Uh, Here, a report description of the activity that occurred during week 13 to 18 of November 2021. During a field campaign, observed that the eruptive activity and collected that the sample suite used in the study. And as we can see in this figure, in the figure A, it is the continuous degassing with a minor ash content in the 13th of November. And for the figure B, it is the falls of the convected ash form a zero point 0.6 up to zero point 0.8 kilometer high eruptive column will disperse to form a umbrella cloud and inject on the left side of the ash cloud. And for the figure C, it is a ash-loaded column on November 14th with gas-rich plume in the foreground. And next is the single convected ash laden on column of November 15th. And next is the continuous degassing on the November 16th. And the diffuse degassing associated with the ash-rich plume end on November 17th. And the 50 to 80 meters high lava fountain on November 17 associated with strong magma fragmentation leading to an ash-rich plume. And next is the vertical convected ash column producing a brown ash emission on the southeast vent source in a discontinuous fountain events on the November 18 as we see in this image, the figure H. And next for the materials and methods. The study used 5 different methodology. First is the analytical method. For the analytical method, the study selected a grain size for which post-fragmentation processes are assumed to be not significant and for which sample texture and chemistry are considered representative of magma at the fragmentation level. And next is the image processing. For the image processing, the textural analysis of a sample were performed on BSE image using the software ImageJ 1.54. Next is the CSV calculation. And the program was used to convert the 2D interaction data to the true 3D crystal size distribution by incorporating the correction for the intersection probability effect and the cut section effect. Next is the component tree analysis. Yeah, it was performed on polished thin sectioning with the same imaging. It is for the ashfall samples with a less than 0.05 millimeter on November 17 and November 18. And next is for the thermobarometry. It was used to calculate the pre-eruptive pressures and temperatures from the clinopyroxene equilibria. Uh, for the next part, let's tackle the result of the study. As we see in the study, it is the image of the um, samples under the microscope. And the OL represents the olivine, the CPX is the clinopyroxene, the PL is the plagioclase, the OX is the oxides, the GI is the glass, and the vesicles is the west. And as we can see in the figure, the vesicles are subrounded or rounded, with a minor exceptions where vesicles are elongated and deformed around pinocchis, and their size varies from 0.03 to 1.5 millimeter, with the vesicle coalescence is a negligible. And next is for the The pinochrist display a subhedral to urethral shape, while both pinochrist and microlights are characteristic by the concentric or patchy zoning with aluminum-rich zones, and occasionally by polyclinic texture with included the iron tin oxide. And as we can see, DOL, the red one, the olivine is present as subhedral pinochrist and the micropinochrist. The size ranging from 0.15 to 0.4 millimeter. And next is for the plagioclase. It is generally present as microlights that are tabular, acicular, tabular, or swallowtail. And last is the iron oxides that are usually subhedral to anhedral shape. The microlights and micropinochrist up to 0.03 long. Next slide, the backscattered electron images. This part shows that samples are characterized by a porphyritic texture with a varying crystality and glassy ground mass around 0.5 ash particles, and are characterized by the presence of few particles formed entirely by single crystals or only glass, while most of the particles are sideromelane or other called it microlite for glass, and the trachylight or the variability crystallized ground mass. And according to the component tree analysis, the proportion of these different particles is approximately 1%, and 8% of only glass, 50% of sideromelane, and 40% of trachylight. The next part, it is the TAS diagram that we use in the study. As we see, that samples from November 15 to November 17 displays a basanitic glass composition that falls, that falls within the basanite part, with a high alkaline ranging from 6 to 8% water content and a low silica content ranging from 43 to 46%. And these compositions fall in a range of compositions reported in the previous studies for the 2021 eruption of the Taguigay de Onda, the Palma. In comparison with products of the previous Tenigaya 1971 eruption, the 2021 eruption composition of a bulk rock products reported are far characterized by the comparably more evolved composition. The magnesium oxides content of the eruption range values ranging from approximately 4 to 7% water content. Next slide. It is the continuation of this slide for the TES. And for this is the ternary classification diagram for the pyroxene and the feldspar. For the figure B, for the pyroxene, the dominant pyroxene compositions in all samples is the diopside, which falls in a diopside part. While for the plagioclase feldspar classification diagram, all samples are mostly labradorite. For the diopside, the composition of this rock sample is wollastonite 45 to 51, and statite 34 to 43, and ferrocylite from 10 to 16. And for the labradorite is anorthosite 61 to 68, albite 30 to 37, and orthoclase 1 to 3. And the olivine crystals from the samples have a high value of forsterite 80 to 84, similar to the values reported by Dayton for the same period, while the olivine crystals from the 18th of November have a lower forsterity content, the forsterite 74 to 80. Next slide is the crystal size distribution of the studied sample. For this part, the obtained CSV plots shows a slight curvature for the plagioclase. It may reveal that the pre-existing crystals from growing as a separate population during the magma ascent, or or the nucleation of a new microlights at the subsurface condition. From the 3D CSVs of the plagioclase feldspar with the the researchers distinguish the two population of crystals, the microlights and the microphenocryst. For the each identified crystal population, for the each crystal population, it shows a linear regression. The red dashed line shows that the shape length is greater than 0.03 millimeter, and for the blue line indicates that the shape length is less than 0.03 millimeter. For the next part, the Harker diagram of the study. As we see that the Palma eruption has been characterized by an increase of magnesium oxide content in the bulk rock composition from the beginning to the end. It is the September to the December, as we can see in the figure 7D, with the at least evolved composition for the parental magma recognized to have a magnesium oxide equals to 8% water content. And the study found that plagioclase microlite shows a variation in some oxides, the Na2O, the K2O, the AlO3 that we use in the Harker diagram for the A, B, and C from the September to November. The plagioclase composition indeed are particularly sensitive to changes in temperature, the H2O pressure, and H2O content. As shown in the figure 6B, the lower part, the first clear composition difference through the time is the higher anorthite content, the AN 61 to 68 of the November plagioclase compared to the eruptive in the September. The anorthite content is 53 up to 66. The more calcic plagioclase suggests that relatively higher pressure in H2O and temperature as well as increase in mapicity. And now for the conclusion, the geochemistry of plagioclase, the November product, provided further evidence of the arrival of the more primitive magma. And the plagioclase microlite shows a variation in some of the major oxides from September to November. And the composition is similar to that plagioclases belong to the Tenegea 1971 eruption, suggesting that their formation occurred in the presence of more primitive melt composition. And next conclusion is crystal size distribution data and microlights number density provided the information about the pre-eruptive timescale and magma ascent velocities during its rise in the conduit. Uh, the values are comparable to those estimated for samples from September with the value of 0.17 to 0.43 meter per second, and they are coherent with the plagioclase microline structure crystallization time of 26 with a positive negative 9 minutes, suggesting that magma acceleration and fragmentation in the shallower part of the conduit. And last is the explosive activity characterizing the second half of the eruption and the transition in eruptive style throughout the Tadjugate eruption and are likely the result of a complex interaction between the gas emission rate, fraction of gas, magma between explosion diffuse events, changes in conduit geometry, and magma ascent rates. And that's it. Thank you for listening.